Attention, astrology fans everywhere. If you're into compatibility and relationship astrology, ignore this one placement in your chart at your own peril. Seriously, you don't want to miss this. I mean, how many times have you asked yourself, how can I tell from my birth chart what my ideal partner is going to be like? This video will teach you just that. By the end of it, you'll know exactly what qualities to look for in a partner in order to gauge whether they will be proper relationship, long-term relationship material, or just a temporary detour or another lesson from the dating scene. Crushes, situationships, flings, those are easy to come by. But a life partner, someone who's truly compatible with you in the long run, now that's the million-dollar question. If you're anything like me, you've tried all the compatibility techniques out there, checking synastry, composite charts, moon signs, Venus-Mars signs, all to try and figure out if a crush or a boyfriend is long-term relationship material and how compatible you two are on different levels: romance, physical chemistry, emotional connection, loyalty, and life goals. Let's be honest, this is probably the most popular topic in astrology because it's just so fun and fascinating to find out how compatible two people can be through astrology. As someone who's been interested in astrology for the last 15 or so years, this is now the first thing I look to in a person's chart if they ask me any type of question about their relationships. It's a powerful internal tool, and I'll be teaching more and more techniques related to compatibility and relationship astrology in the coming videos, so make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss them when they come out. And the best part is that what I'm about to teach you is a super simple technique that anyone can use. It's very easy to check and to understand. You don't even need to understand houses or aspects in astrology in order to use this method. Here's exactly what you can expect from this video. First, I'll explain how to find this one super important placement in your chart. It takes literally 10 seconds. And next, we'll dive into the specific interpretations for each planet as your spouse significator. By the end of this video, you'll have a brand new and powerful tool in your relationship astrology toolkit. Now, there are a lot of techniques in astrology to analyze a pairing. Compatibility has a lot of layers, but this particular technique only requires your own chart because ultimately compatibility and happiness in relationships starts with you. You don't want a partner who just looks good on paper. You want someone uniquely suited to you. So what is the Darakaraka placement and how do we find it in our charts? The term Darakaraka is made up of two Sanskrit words, Dara meaning spouse or partner, and Karaka meaning significator or indicator. So in Vedic astrology, which is where this concept comes from, this is the planet we look to first to determine the qualities of our future spouse, the role they'll play in our life, and even the types of experiences they'll bring that are needed for our own evolutionary growth in this lifetime. It's not just about what they're like and how they act, it's also about who they help you become. So how to find your Darakaraka planet? This part is surprisingly simple. Just look at your natal chart and find the planet with the lowest degrees. So look for the planet with the degrees that are the closest number to 0 degrees in your chart. But a quick rule, you only consider the visible embodied planets here. So we're looking at the Sun, the Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn. Sorry, Rahu and Ketu, you don't get to play in this game this time around, and no outer planets either because they're too far away to be visible with the naked eye, and your spouse is hopefully a very real, actual human being, so we only look to the visible embodied planets for this particular technique. So now that you've identified your Darakaraka planet, how do you actually interpret it? We first look at the qualities of the planet itself. This will be the most important key factor, but we don't have to stop there. This is where the interpretation gets juicy. We can also consider, number one, the qualities of the planet ruling the sign our Darakaraka is in. And two, any other planet that is conjunct your Darakaraka, which in Vedic astrology means a planet that is in the same sign as your Darakaraka. For example, if your Darakaraka planet is the moon and it's sitting in the sign of Capricorn together with Venus, we don't have to just look at the moon. We can also look to Venus and Saturn for secondary clues. This colors the interpretation, adding other dimensions and personality traits to your ideal partner and tells you what they represent or bring into your life. By the way, if you need help identifying your Darakaraka planet or checking which planets you need to look into, drop me a comment below and I'll help you with your chart. So in this specific example, your partner is going to be a fascinating mix. First and foremost, you get the lunar qualities of emotional connection and comfort, meaning they'll be a strong emotional pillar in your life. However, that's balanced by the stern, hardworking, and realistic approach of Saturn. And just to make things interesting, they'll also be capable of being attractive, tactful, and charming thanks to the influence of Venus. Now let's dive into the specific interpretations for each planet as your Darakaraka. I'll keep the descriptions relatively brief because I already did a deep dive interpretation of each planet's qualities in my Atmakaraka, Your Soul Planets video. You know, the one with all the fun movie and cartoon character archetypes, just to paint a full picture. If you want a much more detailed look into the fundamental traits associated with each planet, be sure to check that video out right after this one. If your Darakaraka is the sun, that means that your ideal partner is someone who walks into a room and instantly stands out. They have that undeniable spark, that charisma, that wow factor that just makes them noticed effortlessly by them just being themselves. Something about them just makes them shine as unique, confident, attractive, or simply memorable in one way or another. They have an innate desire to shine as well. Your ideal partner would be someone who has a strong sense of self, a strong individuality, and strong backbone. They are natural leaders who are heavily devoted to their own path, career, or professional legacy. They are laser focused on their personal mission and status and all the responsibilities that come with that, and those priorities will typically come before anything else. You will find them incredibly reliable and consistent. They will be the person that you can count on long term because they are unwavering in their goals and chosen life direction. Your ideal partner will be dutiful and principled in the real world. They often will embody a guardian-like energy, generously taking responsibility for you and others that they care about. They simply act as the protector, which is once again this kind of Leo, Sun, King archetype. In conversation, they are direct and to the point. They naturally inspire respect, and they require respect in return for their dedication and commitment. Respect is truly a very important component here, so you will need a partner who you can look up to, someone that you can admire and be proud of. Now let's look at the shadow side of this placement, because we live on Earth, and on this planet everything is about duality, right? So the intense focus and the strong ego associated with the sun means that if you have Sun as your Darakaraka, your spouse planet, your partner could lean a little bit more into being the boss. They might have a hard time grasping that compromise and genuine concern for others' needs is a big deal in partnerships. They are simply fiercely dedicated to their career or cause or any type of ambitious goal that they aspire to, sometimes to the detriment of your personal life together as a couple. But hey, at least you'll never have to wonder where they stand. They are always authentic and direct, whether people like the message or not. If Sun is your Darakaraka planet, you will attract a partner who loves giving advice but hates receiving it. They may be upset if you don't listen to the advice that they're giving you, but they can be just as upset that you're trying to give them advice. Internally, they believe that they always know better than everyone else. King energy, what can you do? If the moon is your Darakaraka planet, your spouse planet in your chart, then your ideal partner is someone who's kind, compassionate, and sensitive. You need to seek out a partner who makes you feel emotionally safe and nourished, someone who feels like home. They will be your ultimate comfort zone. Your ideal partner is someone who can provide nurturing and emotional safety to anyone that they care about, including you. They will be motivated by protecting and helping others grow, often offering comfort through kindness, gentle presence, and yes, possibly through food. They might like feeding you, just anything to make you feel happy, safe, and that you're kind of in a warm embrace of love and connection. They will be flexible and adaptable most likely, so they won't be too rigid in their ways. They can get along with pretty much anyone and thrive in different environments. They flow through experiences rather than forcing things, and they tend to avoid conflict whenever possible. You will most likely attract a partner who is magnetic and peace-loving, someone who puts others at ease. Your partner is likely highly intuitive and perceptive as well, reading the mood without needing a word of explanation. They just sense the mood and the feelings of others around them, and this makes them a powerful emotional caretaker for you and for others as well. Now let's analyze the potential shadow side of having Moon as your Darakaraka planet. Because the Moon is so soft and focused on nurturing, they also crave connection and to be taken care of and loved in return. Your partner could be a little bit moody and change their mind often, as their feelings are always shifting and fluctuating. They truly need to be nurtured back. Sometimes they can be a little lovesick or dependent, or just a little bit overly sensitive and easily hurt, even if they don't show it or tell you they were hurt by what you said or did. What happens if Mars is your Darakaraka or spouse planet? Mars is a fiery planet that rules engineering and energy, so most likely your ideal partner has a logical mind and a common sense approach to life. At the same time, they might tend to be opinionated, intense, passionate, and impulsive. You most likely will attract a long-term partner who is courageous as a problem solver. They get in, they get the job done swiftly and unflinchingly, whatever it takes. They're task-oriented, they thrive on speed and efficiency, and they strongly dislike distractions, wasted time, or incompetence. Most likely your planet will be willful, decisive, dependable, and highly protective. They show their love through concrete, productive actions. They fix your problems literally and figuratively. So this is quite a masculine placement overall. Your partner might have a real knack for things that require dexterity, a logical mind, or have skills in mechanical or technology areas. They're not afraid of conflict or confrontation when it's for the sake of their values. They'll stand up for themselves and for others, and for you, of course. They're driven by a clear, often rigid sense of right and wrong. Integrity and honesty are deeply important to them, making them principled and idealistic. The conversation style of your ideal partner will most likely be direct, blunt, and no nonsense. They do not beat around the bush and they value purposefulness when speaking. They might lack a little social grace and patience because they're so direct. Now let's look at the shadow side of this placement because, we live on Earth and this is the planet of duality. With a partner who has martial qualities, you will need to learn to be tolerant of their fire nature, as it's never really personal. That's just how they authentically are. Every trait has its positive and negative sides. With people ruled by Mars, the downside often is their impatience, directness, bluntness, and sometimes explosive or too passionate nature. You might expect some occasional angry outbursts or loud confrontations with them. If Mercury is your Darakaraka planet, you need a partner who's quick-witted, intelligent, and fun. Basically, you need someone that you can talk to about anything for hours on end. You will most likely attract a long-term partner who's very interested in accumulating knowledge about different topics, someone who has a lot of different hobbies and interests. They will love learning, gathering information, and they get easily bored by strict routines. Most likely, your partner will be fun, playful, and easygoing. They won't take themselves or life too seriously. They will view life as a game and could be a little bit mischievous. With this placement, you will attract a partner who's an excellent communicator with a great sense of humor. They relate to others through facts, jokes, and ideas. This person is the ultimate jack of all trades, very adaptable and skillful, able to learn anything fast. They're endlessly curious, constantly seeking intellectual stimulation, and tend to have many skills and talents. You will need a partner who's open-minded and flexible, neutral and objective. They will see all sides of the story. They would prefer experimentation and trial and error over dogmatic viewpoints. And they will allow you to freely express yourself and experiment because they crave that same freedom to be afforded to them. Variety, movement, and different options keep them happy and energized. Now for the shadow side of this placement. Because Mercury is very quick-witted and very dynamic and gets bored very easily, your partner might be a little bit inconsistent and unpredictable at times. They may sometimes be seen as a little non-committal or take things lightly because they don't like strictness or rigidity. They need a lot of change and movement, so if you're someone who craves deep routine or stability, their constant need to switch gears might feel a little bit fickle to you. If Mercury is afflicted in your chart, you may attract partners who are childish or immature or emotionally withdrawn and avoidant. Emotional depths are not really Mercury's modus operandi. Mercury is debilitated in the sign of Pisces, which represents deep waters or our emotional depths. If you have Jupiter as your Darakaraka or spouse planet, your ideal partner is someone who's kind, gentle, and forgiving. They naturally see the bigger picture in life and embody the benevolence and wisdom of the sage archetype. They're joyful, optimistic, and generous, operating with an innate sense of faith that everything happens for a reason. They have a truly open mind and heart. Your ideal partner will often act with gentle strength, driven to help others. This will make them natural mentors and spiritual guides, offering meaningful and wise advice to everyone. They would be excellent listeners and value fairness, always receptive to different viewpoints. They often believe in second chances as well. Your long-term partner will most likely have a calming presence and influence on others, making people feel accepted, understood, not judged. They would be patient and calm, bringing peace and harmony everywhere they go. And no matter their life path, they will probably manage to acquire and embody wisdom beyond their years. But there is a light and positive vibe about them, making others feel at ease. Now for the shadow side of this placement. Because they're so focused on philosophy and the big picture of life, a Jupiter partner might be overly optimistic or unrealistic when it comes to day-to-day problems and tasks. They may lack a sense of urgency about earthly matters, like practical budgeting or discipline. They can occasionally come across as preachy or judgmental if they feel their wisdom or broad view isn't being respected. If Venus is your Darakaraka planet, your ideal partner is someone who's charming, very likable, and aesthetically refined. They will most likely be visually appealing and definitely will care about their appearance and tastes. Your long-term partner will enjoy beauty, good food, and aesthetics and everything, always aiming to organize life for maximum enjoyment and minimum stress. They will be diplomatic, tactful, and gracious, making them excellent at socializing, hosting, and handling business. They will seek balance, harmony, and fairness in all dealings. Your partner will most likely be emotionally insightful and caring, possessing a worldly wisdom that allows them to read between the lines and sense subtleties that others miss in interactions. At their core, they will be motivated by fulfillment and will be romantics at heart, which guides their long-term decisions toward quality over short-term success. Your partner will want to connect through warmth and affection, but also through shared enjoyment and mutually beneficial interactions. Now for the shadow side of this placement. Because a Venus partner prioritizes harmony and pleasantness above almost everything else, they might sometimes come across as a bit of a pushover or inauthentic to more direct and intense types. They know the right things to say to maintain peace. In addition to this, their love for comfort and quality can sometimes translate into being too focused on the material side of life, which might feel superficial to other people. If Saturn is your Darakaraka or spouse planet, you're looking for someone stoic, dutiful, and pragmatic who takes life and their responsibilities very seriously. Immature or superficial people will not be your cup of tea when it comes to serious relationships. This is a partner built for the long haul, a ride or die. Your ideal partner is resilient, disciplined, and hardworking, possessing a survival mindset that allows them to persevere where others give up. They just get on with the task without self-pity or waiting for a rescue. They will be grounded realists who see life without fluff or filters. They're unafraid of discomfort and are often frugal and resourceful. Their communication is honest and blunt, preferring realness and grit over flattery. They will be humble and won't demand much, the opposite of a prima donna, really. They will approach life with a cautious and very down-to-earth attitude. Your long-term partner will most likely love nature and animals because they prefer the quiet authenticity of the natural world over the noise and social artifice that often comes with human company. They will be most likely wise and calm in a crisis, always taking a long-term strategic view. They're very loyal and protective of their loved ones, often relating through shared struggles. Since Saturn is associated with older age and things improving through hard work with time, your partner might also become better with age, wiser, maybe even more attractive, or simply just a better partner as the years go by. Now for the straight talk warning. A partner signified by Saturn can sometimes be seen as leaning towards pessimism, but that is only because they're not afraid to see the dirtier, darker truths of life. Their presence can potentially bring some necessary challenges and difficulties into your life, forcing you to mature and face reality. However, on the plus side, you gain a partner who's rock solid, completely dependable, and built for a lifetime of commitment. Be mindful, however, that they will also expect discipline and maturity from you. The theme of your longest relationship may not be passionate romance or rose-colored glasses, but rather stability, loyalty, and resilience. Now that we've gone through all the interpretations, it's your turn. Go check your chart and let me know which is your Darakaraka planet and what type of partners are you typically attracted to. And do you notice a difference between partners that you're attracted to for flings, for short-term excitement, versus partners who you definitely see as relationship material? Now remember how the Darakaraka signifies the qualities that your partner will mirror back to you and the experiences they will bring in order to enable your evolutionary growth in this lifetime. If you want to dive deeper into those larger themes, your life path and evolutionary growth in this lifetime, I highly recommend watching this video on this very same topic. It's called Astrology and Your Life Path. And for those of you who love learning anything related to the astrology of relationships and compatibility, you'll definitely want to subscribe. My next video will be on the topic of magnetic attraction. I'll be teaching a super simple technique that anyone can use instantly to find out two things: what type of people will be irresistibly and inexplicably attracted to you, and also who you will be magnetically attracted to, depending on a certain placement in their chart. And if you haven't already watched my video on the topic of Atmakaraka, the soul planet, I highly recommend you to check that out. You'll get a deeper understanding of the qualities associated with each planet, each of the visible planets, and you'll get a deeper understanding of your intrinsic soul nature. Thank you so much for your time, and see you in the next videos.